the Lindsay Clancy trial. Sue Clancy, Lindsay's mother-in-law, on the stand yesterday. She said Lindsay loved her children very, very much. She felt unwell. She was losing her appetite. She was begging for help. This is her mother-in-law. And remember, this is a grandmother that lost 3 kids. So she has every right to side with the prosecution and hate Lindsay Clancy. But the prosecution is absolutely bombing. It is. You can smell the stench. They are bombing so bad. The cross-exam of Sue Clancy was as subtle as a sledgehammer, like a bull in a china shop, these 2 assistant DAs. Jennifer Sprague, who was at the microphone at the time, asked if Susan is a member of the Catholic Church. And she says, yes, I am. And then Sprague says, and you're aware that murder is considered a mortal sin? Here she is shaming her for being a bad Catholic. Okay, the judge goes, sidebar, and pulls Jennifer Sprague over. This is a government employee violating the First Amendment by asking a private citizen on the stand about her religious beliefs and shaming. There were courtroom gasps. Like everybody in there was like, oh, what did she just do? I think it was a death sentence for them with the jury. Beyond that abomination, the prosecution is trying to sell the idea that Lindsay Clancy did not tell doctors about the auditory hallucinations she later admitted to. She didn't tell them before the deaths because she wanted to keep her kids so she could kill them in a premeditated fashion. Now, the prosecution has to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. This is a mountain to climb. In truth, admitting that you're hearing voices is like laying your shame out for the world to judge. There is a pressure all women know on them, on how to handle it all. Every woman has pressure to be the perfect mom. Some comes from other women, right? In carpool, like, oh my God, she can't even handle her kids. Look at her. Oh my God. Jesus, she wears the sweatpants. She doesn't even wash her hair. My God. Everybody's judging, not just from other moms, of course, but just society in general. There's a competition. There's a judginess. And she could lose her nursing license. So is Lindsay Clancy going to come forward and be like, hey, yo, I'm hearing voices? No, the shame is too deep. On redirect, the amazing attorney, Kevin Reddington, asked Sue Clancy about options that were presented to Lindsay. And she said one was the Women and Infants Hospital in Rhode Island. They took her there. This is one of 3 hospitals she went to. She said Lindsay was turned away because she was over-medicated and called suicide hotlines twice. So they were like, yeah, we can't help you. Jesus, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Dr. Donald Condie took the stand, child and adolescent and adult psychiatrist. He testified and confirmed this, that she was discharged from Women and Infants Hospital in Rhode Island after seeking treatment. The records stated hospital staff believe she was experiencing complications from medication, not necessarily postpartum depression, making her a bad candidate for the program. Oh my God. And then Dr. Condie reviewed the records of this very young psychiatrist who was 32 years old and had only been on the job 1 month at the time she started seeing Lindsay Clancy, Jennifer Tufts. He reviewed her records and said they are somewhat sparse. There are many check boxes in the records, but not a great deal of sentences that describe what was done during the sessions. And this is exactly what Reddington did the other day when the prosecution was in charge. Reddington cross-examined Jennifer Tufts and was like, excuse me, you have drop-down menus. Like, how are you feeling today? Good, bad, in between, check. Like, this is what a psychiatrist does? No. I went to a psychiatrist and he recorded every session so he could listen back and take copious notes and build a very deep file on me. Not a drop-down menu that says good, bad, or ugly. I mean, really bad. really, really bad. And I think this goes beyond Jennifer Tufts. The Astor Mental Health, which is the company for whom Jennifer Tufts worked, they are named in the civil suit, which is coming. The civil suit that Lindsay's lawyer, by the way, Rosemary Scapicchio, she's got a reputation in the Boston area as an absolute badlander. Like, she is tough, she is feared, and she will be going after all these people. But Donald Condie, Dr. Condie on the stand recalls that Jennifer Tufts prescribed Zoloft to Lindsay, starting at 25 milligrams and then going up to 50, doubling it. And that's when the sleeplessness hit like a hammer. And Lindsay got insomnia for 48 hours straight, couldn't sleep. He said that's called activation. And I think most of us know, it's a pretty good indication that you shouldn't be on this medication. You've got something else, like an underlying major mood disorder, like a bipolar, if you have that type of reaction to an SSRI like Zoloft. At another point, they bring up Dr. Paul Zeisel, a clinical forensic psychologist. He's actually on the stand right now as we speak in day 16. He reported that Lindsay told him that this is big. He reported Lindsay told him that she had heard a male voice ordering her, telling her that she didn't have any choice. She had to kill her children and then kill herself. He said Clancy only had auditory hallucinations, which can be experienced like waves at the beach. They come and they go. Lindsay felt that people could actually hear her thoughts, he said, that her thoughts were so loud that strangers could hear them. Now, remember, she's saying this after she had killed the kids. But she thought that teachers at school could hear her thoughts. This goes back to the shame. This is a woman in postpartum psychosis. You can't expect her to be like, gig's up. You know what? Now I should probably, go and share the fact that I'm hearing voices. This is the shame. There's not sympathy and love and outreach for someone who says, I'm hearing voices. There's, oh my God, they're crazy. That's what there is. There's gossip. There's judgment. So English Dick earlier put up a nice comment on the screen. He said, to check out the interview I posted yesterday with Matt Murphy. I hope you do. If you're following the Clancy trial, Matt Murphy's outstanding. I was well prepared. We had a good, really good conversation about it. Matt was in the Orange County prosecutor's office, in the DA's office, as a prosecutor for 20 years, 3 in child crime, and then he spent 17 years in the homicide unit. The man has prosecuted a lot of bad people. He's watching this. He's grading the prosecution and the defense. He's got a really good take. Let's go with Satu, Harry. He makes a prediction here of what happens.
There's cases that I have really strong opinions about. This is one where I really don't. It's a horrible case, but I can tell you right now, I can call this shot. The jury's going to come back and find her legally insane. If I had to guess, that's what's going to happen.
Bang. That's the call right there. Then Matt and I talked about, we talked about the performance. Prosecution versus defense. Harry, let's take a look at SOT 3 here from Matt Murphy.
In Massachusetts, the final prong is called the control prong, and that is they're suffering from a mental disease or defect. And from that, even if they know it's wrong, if they're unable to control their actions, then they are legally insane. Okay, so and that's the problem with this case. That, I think, is the crux of it. She understood that it was wrong.
The prosecution is screwed here because she knew it was wrong. She knows it's wrong, but in the moment, she couldn't control herself.
That's the defense argument. By the way, this defense lawyer, he is doing an excellent job. He's doing an excellent job. So
his performance, his presence, his voice,
he's controlling the courtroom.
I'm so enamored with this guy. I hate to be a fanboy, but the South Boston accent, even with the way he says postpartum, I mean, and he's cozy. and he's well presented. I have to say,
Can I jump in here for just a second on this with Big Red and you and this? I'm enamored. Like, I remember saying that to my first girlfriend in high school. I'm enamored because we're from there. I'm enamored with you. You are enamored.
well, Harry's from Worcester, Mass, and and Steve, Steve Harding, our beloved Steve, was from Lynn, City of Sin. I mean, we got a lot of massholes working on this programs all over us. But Kevin Reddington, this guy, did I call him cozy? Did I call him cozy?
At the very, if we were to go back to the end of the clip, you said he's cozy, dude. You know who's cozy? Allie's cozy. You and Allie are cozy together. Yeah, you and I are not cozy. And I've known you 35 years. We're not, dudes aren't cozy.
Big Red is cozy, and I got a big fat man crush on the guy. I'm gonna say it. I'm not running from it. God, I love it. This is one hell of an attorney. By the way, there's a little show I watch at night called Commonwealth Confidential on NBC 10, local show, but you can watch it on YouTube, and they do a nice little quick wrap up. It's Cliff Notes wrap up, but they did a little piece, a 3-minute piece. Their legal analyst went to visit Kevin Reddington before the trial began, went to his office. The man got famous for his big break, or what really he was known for was he represented Mo Vaughn, the legendary Boston Red Sox player, when he was being prosecuted for OUI or DUI. And Reddington was really funny. He's like, I was in a shit position. Let's be honest, because if I get Mo Vaughn off, it's like, of course he got off. No problem. He's Mo Vaughn. Of course he was what Boston jury is going to sentence Mo Vaughn? And then he's like, and if I don't, you screwed up Mo Vaughn. How could you lose Mo Vaughn, you idiot? He's got a great personality. Like I said, when they make the movie of this trial, I like Ed O'Neill from Modern Family in the role of Kevin Reddington. If you can top that, take a shot in the comment section. I welcome it. The Clancy trial rolls on. We will have much more to say.
You're also going to do updates on the Clancy case on Thursday and Friday, probably.
I'm probably going to put something up. Yeah, we'll put up short segments there, maybe like an 8 or 9 minute thing, as we stay abreast. Okay. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day.